Hey folks, how you doing? It's Paul at Craft Words. So for this Ask Me Anything video, we've got a question from Sikandar Malik. Again, Sikandar, I've said this to a few folks before. Please forgive me if I've mispronounced your name. Feel free to correct me down in the comments or something. I really liked your question, actually. This was about the tone of voice course that I did for Domestika, which is a nice way of plugging here, folks. I have a tone of voice course and a writing for social media course on the creative platform Domestika. That's Domestika with a K, so go take a look if you're interested. But your question was around how we use two kind of complementary or even seemingly opposed personality traits to build tone of voice. I want to get into this a tiny bit here. So a lot of you will know this already, but when you create a tone of voice or verbal identity for a brand, quite often you will have kind of personality traits. They will say, for example, we want to sound open, honest, and daring. Now, that's kind of the way this stuff is generally done. We do this a tiny bit different. Instead of writing just one word like that, we use, as Sikandar's pointed out, either pairs of words. For example, innovative traditionalism, which Sikandar, that was one of yours, so let's make sure you get the credit for that. We'll either use two words like that, or we'll even sometimes use a phrase. We did some work for some strategic positioning work for Nike a while back. It was around positioning a Spanish defender, footballer. And this footballer was known for being very passionate, and so we kind of came up with a phrase which was sangre y corazón, which in Spanish translates literally as blood and heart. If you were putting that into English, you would maybe say blood and thunder. That kind of gets you into that same sort of headspace. Now, the reason we try not to do things like single words like open, honest, and daring is it's quite hard to do. It's quite hard to find those single words, to get one word that kind of perfectly kind of encapsulates what you want to be. And so many people, so many brands will come up with the same words. We want to be open, honest, and daring, for example. And there's a little bit of a kind of well, yeah, duh. So what you're telling me, your brand doesn't want to be dishonest. It can feel a bit obvious. And again, it's quite hard packing everything into one word, even though you've got 5 words, if you see what I mean. You might have open, honest, daring, traditional, inventive, for example. But it's just a bit more interesting when you do phrases, things like blood and thunder. If you say to somebody, we want you to write in a way that's passionate, a lot of writers will kind of go, okay, I get it. It's a bit bland, kind of ironically, but they get it. But if you say to a writer, I want you to write with your copy in a way that has blood and thunder, that's like, wow, that's a bit more interesting. And so that's why we do it that way. We just look for phrases, kind of words. We did some work with a music brand a while ago, and kind of for every personality trait, every kind of sentence, every sort of phrase we came up with. And you do want to keep these short. They can't be long, but between 3 and 5 words is kind of okay. But for every one of these we came up with for this music company, we selected a known musician. So one of them was. They originally wanted their copy to sound lively, and we replaced that with Lust for Life and had a picture of Iggy Pop, because that just immediately makes it much richer. And so you can sort of go down that route of it as well. I think just for us, it's coming away from that one word, because it just kind of boxes you in, and it can make things quite difficult. And again, quite often folks will have the same one word or very similar one words. If you go with a phrase, a sentence, like I said, between 3 to 5 words, then you can be a lot richer, and the chances are that people won't have the same phrases as you. Okay, so that's it for this week, folks. Thank you very much for your encouragement. I love seeing some of the comments, and thanks for the questions. Please keep them coming down here in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.